Dear students, in the previous session, we had worked out some problems which were connected with the allied angles. That is, using the three rules of allied angle, rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, we had found out the values of 5 trigonometric ratios given any one of them, and then the other one is if the angle is expressed either in radian measure or degree measure, we had calculated the values of the trigonometric ratio, sine of some angle, cos or tan, like that. We had worked out some problems of this one. Now, in today's session, I am going to derive a formula which is very important. Okay, very important means in the examination, every examination, either for a 5 or 6 mark question, it is a regularly asked question. The derivation is very important. You have to draw the figure neatly and explain the figure, then you have to do the derivation. It is quite a lengthy derivation. But before the derivation, I am just going to give you one information. Now here I have considered a circle. Here this circle I call it as a unit circle. What do you mean by unit circle is, the radius of the circle is 1. That is the meaning of a unit circle. If the radius of any circle is 1, we call it as unit circle. So, I have considered a unit circle with origin as a center, okay, and then I have taken a point P having the coordinates a comma b. So, I hope remember in analytical geometry we have defined the coordinates of any point. So, coordinates of any point will always fix the point in the plane. So, A and B are the x and y coordinates of the point. What I have done, I have joined the origin to that point. From P I have drawn the perpendicular PM to the x axis. Now, because of these lines drawn, OM, which is called as the x coordinate of the point, so which has been denoted as A. PM is the y coordinate, it has been given as B. So, OM equal to A, PM equal to B, OP being the radius, in this case it is a one unity, it is a unit circle, so OP is equal to 1. I have denoted the angle POM as x here. Now, consider the the triangle POM. In this one, let me define sin x. How do you define sin x? Opposite over the hypotenuse, that is PM divided by OP. And what is PM? PM is equal to B and OP being the unit circle, being the radius B equal to 1. That means that sin x equal to B by 1 implies that B is equal to sin x. B is equal to sin x, first thing. Next is consider cos x. Cos x, how do you define? The adjacent over the hypotenuse. In this case, OM divided by OP. Again, OM is the x coordinate of P, that is A, and this is 1, which implies that A is equal to cos x. Now, come to the point P having the coordinates A comma B. That is how we have taken the point. Now, what is the value of A here? A is cos x, and what is B equal to? B is equal to sin x. So, this point can also be expressed as cos x comma sin x. So, A and B were also the coordinates. Because of the, we have denoted the angle to be x here using the trigonometric ratios here, definition of cos x and sin x. Now, the coordinates of the point P can be written as cos x and sin x. Of course, here we have taken the circle to be a unit circle, therefore, the radius was 1. Otherwise, if the radius is not 1, if it is some other number r, then it would be r cos x comma r sin x. But in the next derivation also I will be considering the radius to be 1. Therefore, you can directly take it as cos x sin x. So, generally we can take this one. Suppose a line here, suppose you are considering here a line is making an angle x with the x axis, and if that particular point is having the coordinates A comma B, then when you draw the perpendicular, if you, of course, we are considering a circle with one as origin as center and one as the radius. In that case, now, if line makes an angle x here, its coordinates can be taken as cos x and sin x. This fact, for this to know about this fact, I have done this particular, I have considered this one, because in the next derivation I am using this concept of representing a point with the proper coordinates. Now, our today's topic is compound angle. So, you have learnt about allied angle. After teaching you about compound angle, again I come back to allied angle. Allied angle, the rules I have told you how to find the values and all, no? That can also be done using the compound angle formulae. So, after learning about compound angle, I am just going to revise whatever I had taught you already. Now, it is easier to understand those rules here to arrive at the values. So, I have done it in the before this compound angle. Compound angle, the word itself suggests that it is a combination. So, an angle which is expressed as sum or difference of two or more angles is called a compound angle. It is a compound angle. For example, A plus B or B minus C or A minus B plus C or A plus B minus C minus D, all of them, no, we call them as compound angles. It is a sum or difference of two or more angles is called a compound angle. So, here I am considering only A plus C instead of A and B. Usually, because we are discussing it as a trigonometric function, we take the variable to be x and y here. Okay. So, we take two angles x and y. So, we try to derive the formula first for cos of x plus y, and then from that we get cos of x minus y. From that we get sin x plus y and sin x minus y. So, x plus y is one compound angle, sum of the two angles. X minus y is another angle, the difference of the two angles. If you know both of them, there may be any number of angles in the combination, you can find the values of them. Okay. So, I am teaching you about the derivation of cos of x plus y. Now, again I am repeating that one, it is an important derivation. So, next formula that I am going to derive is derive geometrically, that is how the question will be asked. If you simply write the formula, you do not get the marks for that one. Derive geometrically. What do you mean by geometrically? You have to draw a figure, explain the figure, then you have to find the formula, whatever has been asked in the problem. So, the question now is derive geometrically, derive geometrically, derive geometrically, that is cos of x plus y is equal to cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y. One common mistake usually students they do is cos of x plus y, they write like this, cos of x plus cos of y. It is not the removal of the bracket. X plus y is one angle, has been written as sum of the two angles. It is not removal of the bracket here. Cos of a compound angle, that is the meaning. So, it is cos x into cos y. X means first angle, y means the second angle. Both of them are cosine ratios. Cos of x first angle into cos of the second angle. When you are having plus here, it would be minus on the right hand side. Again, it is fully a cosine product, there it is fully a sine product. Sine of the first angle into sine of the second angle. So, this is what we are going to derive now. For that, geometrically means first of all you have to draw a diagram. Now, this many students again they somehow by heart the derivation and do it. Please do not do that one. Whenever a derivation needs a diagram, first step is you have to write the diagram, then you have to explain the diagram, then you have to do all the logical calculations and arrive at the result here. Now, first we will consider the coordinate axis. See, in the derivation of this one, I will be using the knowledge of analytical geometry and the identities, all of them I will be using. So, let me consider a circle with origin as center and unit circle. That is why I considered the unit circle before this one. Consider a unit circle. Consider a unit circle with origin as center. Unit circle means, see this is this distance, you take it as O, you can take this point to be say P1. Now this will have the coordinates 1, 0. Can you tell me why? You look here, the point P1 is lying on the x-axis. Therefore, its y coordinate would be 0. But as you know that it is the radius OP is the x coordinate and also the radius of the circle which you have taken to be 1 unit. Therefore, P1, the first point which I am considering, is having the coordinates 1, 0. Then take another point, say P2. Now, when you take this one, see that this angle is equal to x. I am taking a second point P2 such that this angle P1O P2 is equal to x. Next is take another point say P3 such that this angle, that is P2O P3, is equal to y units. So, P1O P2 I have taken to be x, P2O P3, another point P3 such that angle P2O P3 is equal to y. So, the total if you take starting from P1, if you take this one, the anti-clockwise direction, P1O P3, that would be x plus y. That is what we are going to derive now. For that angle x plus y, we are going to derive an expression or a formula. Now, I am taking another point here, another point P4, such that how do you take that point is, see this angle I am measuring in the clockwise direction, that is equal to minus y. Here I have taken y, understand each thing carefully. This angle is y, this is also y. Why I am writing minus is, I am measuring the angle in the clockwise direction. Numerically both of them are same, that is 100 degrees, this is also 100, but it is minus 100 degrees. So, see first I have drawn a circle with the origin as center, 1 as radius. Then that means that if you take a point P1 on the x-axis, the first point, it has the coordinates 1, 0. Take a second point P2 such that angle P1O P2 is equal to x. Take the third point P3 such that angle P2O P3 equal to y, so that the total angle is x plus y. Next is, I have taken the fourth point P4 so that this angle P1O P4, I am measuring in the clockwise direction, that would be equal to minus y. So, both of them have got the same magnitude, value is same, that is positive because I am measuring in the anti-clockwise direction. This is measured in the clockwise direction, that is the only difference. Now, here this P2 I am joining to P4 and then P3 I am joining to P1. This is a little bit complicated figure, but this is how we have to do the derivation. So, P1, P2, P3, P4 separately we have considered, and then I have joined P2 and P4, P1 and P3, so that I am getting here two triangles. I will be comparing those triangles and then only we can arrive at the result. Now, come to the coordinates point of this one, coordinates of the points. P1, as you know, just now I told you, it has got 1, 0 because 1 is the x-axis x coordinate, 0 is the y coordinate. Come to this point P2. Look here, it has made an angle x here. See, x needed to always acute, it can be of any measure, okay. It has made an angle x with the x-axis. Therefore, just now I told you how to take that one. It can be taken as cos x, sin x. So, the coordinates of the point P2 are cos x and sin x. Then come to this one. This angle, as you know, just now I told you, it is x plus y. So, the angle made by this one with the x-axis is x plus y, means you can write it as cos of x plus y, sin of x plus y. Now, these are the coordinates of the point P3. These are the coordinates of the point P2. Finally, come to the point P4. Look here, we have taken the angle minus y, isn't it? So, it has made an angle minus y with the x-axis. Therefore, it is cos of minus y and sin of minus y. Okay. So, this is how we have to write. So, these are the coordinates of the points. First one 1 comma 0, then cos x comma sin x, cos of x plus y comma sin of x plus y, cos of minus y, sin of minus y. So, well, when you draw the diagram here, after writing the diagram, you have to explain like this. Consider a unit circle with origin as a center. First, P1 comma 1 comma 0 is a point on the circle. Take 2 points P2 and P3 such that angle P10, P10, P2 equal to x, P20, P3 is equal to y. Therefore, the total angle would be x plus y. Now, take another point P4 such that the angle P10, P4 that would be equal to minus y, because it is need not write because it is measured in the clockwise direction, not necessary, such that P10, P4 would be equal to minus y. Now what we have to do now is the derivation part. Okay. So, here we have used the knowledge of our analytical geometry and written the corresponding coordinates. Look here, I am considering two triangles here. First triangle is P10, P3. First triangle is triangle P10, P3. First triangle. And that's why I have joined this one. The construction part is join P2 and P4 and P1 and P3. So, the triangle P10, P3 is one triangle. Another triangle is P2O, P4. P2O, P4. So, I have taken, because of the two lines that we have drawn, we got here two triangles. One is P10, P3, other one is P2O, P4, O comes in between. Now, let us compare let us see how the sides of the triangle are. First, you take P10, P3. See, OP1 is one radius and OP3 is another radius, correct? Now, because they are the radii of the same circle, they are equal, OP1 equal to OP2. Come to the other triangle, OP2, OP4, even they are the radii of the same circle. So, radii of the same circle will always be equal to one another. That means that OP1 equal to OP2, OP3 is equal to OP4. That is, first thing is the two radii of one triangle is they are equal to the two radii of the second triangle. Then look at the included angle. See here P2O, P4, that is this angle, this y plus this one, which I have not written anything. Now take the other angle P1O, P3. This is also y plus this portion. So, this portion, suppose I mark it into here. Look here, it is y plus one portion, y plus minus y, forget, you take the numerical value, y plus some portion, y plus some portion. This some portion is common to both of them, which is equal, isn't it? That means that when you take the angle P2O, P4 and P10, P3, both the angles are equal. That is, you can write here OP1 is equal to OP2, here OP1 equal to OP2, and then the other triangle, that is OP1 equal to OP2, OP3 is equal to OP4. That means that the two radii of the first triangle are equal to two radii of the second triangle, and the included angle, what is the included angle? P10, P3, that is equal to P2O, P4. This is triangle I have written, here I have written the angles. So, two sides and the included angle are equal in these two triangles. You may remember, we have learned something about the congruent triangles in your high school classes. In that one, according to the statement of one theorem, if two sides of two sides and the included angle of any two triangles are equal, then the triangles are said to be congruent. So, it is a congruency of the two triangles. Many other conditions are there. In this particular problem, I am using this condition. two sides and the included angle of any two triangles are equal, then the triangles are said to be congruent. Congruent means the remaining angles and remaining sides will also be equal. That is the meaning of that one. Now, see, two sides already we have discussed. What is the remaining side? One is P2, P4, the other one is P1, P3. All those things you have to write here. Okay. That is two triangles P1O, P3 and P2O, P4, they are congruent. Give the reason. Since two sides and the included angle of both the triangles are equal, therefore the triangles are congruent. Therefore, the remaining side will also, angle we are not interested, remaining side would be equal. And what is the remaining side here? The remaining side means it is P2, P4 will be equal to P1, P3. You can give a number for this one. Okay, that is P1, P3 is the remaining side of the first triangle. P2, P4 is the remaining side of the other triangle. So, P2, P4 is equal to P1, P3. Our problem is solved when you find the values of them and substitute in this relation. So, P1, P3 equal to P2, P4 or P2, P4 equal to P1, P3. Now, our next I have taken it the number 1. Now, let me calculate P1, P3. First, at any one distance you can consider. Consider P1, P3. Now, we are going to analytical geometry. See, you have learnt about the distance formula in your high school classes. That is, if a straight line, if a line passes through 2 points having the coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2. If a straight line is passing through these 2 points, then the distance between the 2 points, usually we denote it as d, is given by the formula root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. That means the difference of the x coordinates, square of that one plus square of the difference of the y coordinates. So, this is called as the distance formula, which gives the distance between any two given points. So, I am using this fact here. Instead of x1, x2, y1, y2, we are having different values. First, consider P1, P3. For that, now you should know the coordinates of the point. What is P1? We have seen that it is 1, 0. Next, P3. P3, again it is making an angle x plus y. So, it is cos of x plus y, sin of x plus y. And here you have to use the ordinary brackets because we are representing the coordinates of the point. If there is one more bracket, no, write the, here also you have to write the ordinary brackets only. So, P1 has got the coordinates 1, 0. P3 has got the coordinates cos of x plus y, sin of x plus y. Now, to find the distance P1, P3, according to this one, it is square root of x2 minus x1. What is x2 here? Cos of x plus y minus x1 means minus 1 the whole square. x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2. y2 means the y coordinate, sin x plus y, and here it is 0 minus 0 the whole square. And don't try to skip the steps here, solve the problem step by step. Do all the calculation. In each step do only one calculation. So, I know the coordinates of P1 and P3. So, using the distance formula, I can write P1, P3 to be square root of cos x plus y minus 1 the whole square plus sin x plus y minus 0 the whole square. Now, look here, it is of the form a minus b whole square. What's the expansion? A square. A square means cos square of x plus y. B square, that is 1 square. A square plus b square minus 2 into a into b. 2 into 1 is 2. So, I can write 2 into cos of x plus y. So, that is over. That is over. Now, this part here, because it is 0, there is only one term remaining. When you square it now, it becomes sin square of x plus y. Now, all of them are under the radical sign only. So, it is P1, P3 would be equal to square root of x square cos square x plus y plus 1 minus 2 cos of x plus y plus sin square of x plus y. So, we had made use of the formula of analytical geometry. Now, look at these quantities. By trigonometric identity, we know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So, here also x plus y, there also x plus y. When you use that particular first identity, it is 1 here and another one we are having. Therefore, you write 1 plus 1 minus 2 times cos of x plus y. Okay. Now, you have to give the reason in the working column, right, since we know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So, 1 plus 1, that is 2. Hence, we have P1 comma P1 P3 is equal to root of 2, 1 plus 1 2 minus 2 times cos of x plus y. So, this is what I am having now. That is, when you consider the coordinates of P1 and P3, using the distance formula, I got the distance to be P1 P3 equal to square root of 2 minus 2 times cos of x plus y. You keep this answer on one side. Now, we have to calculate the other distance, because I written in the result 1, what was the result 1 I wrote here. The result 1 was P1 P3 equal to P2 P4, or I had written P2 P4, both are correct. You have taken this as result 1. So, here at present what I have done is, I have using the distance formula, I have calculated the distance P1 P3. Now, let me calculate the other distance P2 P4. Now, come to the figure again. P2 means this point cos x comma sin x, that is x1 comma y1. P4 is cos of minus y comma sin of minus y. So, again I use the information cos of minus theta is cos theta, sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. See, in one derivation, so much of information we are using here. So, first let me write it as P2 has got the coordinates cos x comma sin x, and then P4 has got the coordinates cos of y minus sin of y. You can give the reason, since we know that cos of minus theta is cos theta, sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. Again, using the distance formula, I can arrive at the distance between P2 and P4. Therefore, you write here P2 P4 is equal to square root of y x2 minus x1 whole square, that is cos y minus cos x the whole square, plus y2 x2 minus x1 whole square, y2 minus y1 whole square. What is y2 here? Minus sin y minus sin x the whole square, minus sin y minus sin x the whole square. Now, this I've just used the, here I have used the information that if a line makes an angle x or y, no, it will be cos x sin x, because this other line has made an angle of minus y, it becomes cos of minus y, sin of minus y. Using the allied angle information, it can be written as cos y and minus sin y. Now, I use the distance formula. Again, I am using the distance formula x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Now, you observe that it is again algebraic formula I am using. X minus y whole square, a minus b whole square, a square plus b square, a square plus b square minus 2 into a into b, cos x into cos y. Now, come to this one. See, here if both of them are negative or both of them are positive, it is as good as using the formula a plus b whole square. Here one was positive, one was negative. The formula I used was a minus b whole square, where when both of them are negative or both of them are positive, it is the formula a plus b whole square we are using. So, a square, that is sin square y, plus b square, that is sin square x, plus 2 times a into b, that is sin x into sin y. That is sin x into sin y. Now here of course I will write P1, P3 we had already calculated. P1, P3 was earlier calculated. It was root of 2 minus 2 cos of x plus. If you want, you can give a number for this also. I have taken that as result 1. Now look at this, we have got 6 terms here. In the previous one was cancelled. Look here, cos square y plus sin square y. Again we are using the identity, cos square theta plus sin square theta, that is equal to 1, isn't it? Then cos square x plus sin square x, I am using the different notation. Cos square x plus sin square x, again it is the identity I am using, only the angles are different. Now from these two, from this one and this one, what's a common factor? You can take out minus and 2 can be taken as common factor. What is remaining? When you take out minus sign, this 2 also has been taken outside. Write another bracket. It is cos x into cos y. Now when the minus sign is taken out, this plus becomes minus. It is minus of sin x into sin y. Now look here, 1 plus 1, that is 2. Therefore P2, P4 would be equal to square root of 2 minus 2 times cos x cos y minus sin x into sin y. Close the bracket and draw the line properly. So we have got here P2 P4 is equal to square root of 2 minus 2 times cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y. Sin x into sin. So we had considered 4 points and marking the angles properly. We got the coordinates of the 4 points, joined those lines. There were 2 triangles. We compared the triangles. We saw that the triangles were congruent. Therefore, the other sides of both the triangles, P1, P3 and P2, P4, they were equal to each other. So using the knowledge of the analytical geometry, that is in other words the distance formula, I calculated the distance P1, P3 and also P2, P4. Now substitute in 1. These distances have to be substituted in 1 because I have given the number as 1 here. So P1, P3 equal to P2, P4. And what is P1, P3? We have calculated both of them. Therefore, you write it as substitute in 1. When you substitute in 1, first let me write any one you can write on the left hand side, no problem. That is root of 2 minus 2 times cos of x plus y is equal to square root of 2 minus 2 times cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y. Close the bracket. Now we are having both the quantities under the radical sign, Therefore, what you have to do? To simplify, you have to square both sides. Square both sides. See, don't directly cancel this 2. It is not correct. Square both sides. So, we are having 2 minus 2 times cos of x plus y equal to 2 minus 2 times cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y. So, we have almost arrived at the result and you observe that this 2 on both the sides can be cancelled. So, what is remaining? Minus 2 into this expression equal to minus 2 into other expression. Directly you can cancel or use the other proper method. Divide by minus 2. So, minus 2 would be eliminated on both the sides. What is remaining? It is cos of x plus y. That is remaining on the left hand side. Right hand side would be it is cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y. Hence, we get the formula here. So, this is the formula we required here. It is cos of x plus y equal to cos x cos y minus sin x into sin y. So, this is the derivation. First, with the help of this particular derivation, we can arrive at the values of all the other compound angles like cos x minus y sin etc. Now, it is a very important derivation, go through it properly. Now, always write the it would be asked like this, prove geometrically that cos of x plus y equal to cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin. That is what will be asked in the question. Now, you have to first write the diagram. The diagram should be neat, do not write with a pen. You have to consider, you have to take a pencil and the diagram should be neatly drawn. Do not do in a haphazard way. The diagram should be very well, it has to be neatly drawn, otherwise you will not get the full marks for that one. So, here first to draw the diagram and write the straight lines and all properly. Take the 4 points here and then automatically you can take the points P1, P2, P3, P4, that is left to your choice. You can take PQRS also, P1, P2, P3, P4 and mark the angles. First angle x, then y, it becomes x plus y, and take another angle in the clockwise direction having the same magnitude as y, that would be minus y, and joining the proper straight lines we arrive at 2 triangles. Compare the triangles. When you compare the triangles, we see that they are congruent. Congruent means the remaining side of both the triangles would be equal to each other. So, that is why we get P1, P3 equal to P2, P4. Then using the coordinates of all the 4 points here, using the distance formula, we calculate both the distances P1, P3 as well as P2, P4, and equating them, because both of them are under the radical sign, square both the sides to eliminate the radical sign. After eliminating, 2 gets cancelled, divide by minus 2, we arrive at the exact result. So, this is the formula we derive for cos of x plus y. Do not ever consider that as a bracket, it is not cos of x plus cos of y, cos of x plus y, x means first angle, y means the second angle. So, cos x into cos y, cos of the first angle into cos of the second angle. The left hand side plus, right hand side we are having minus. So, it is sin x into sin y. Okay. So, this is the formula we derive. Now, it is the first formula we have learned. Now, in this formula cos of x plus y, we have cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y, sin x into sin y. Now, suppose I change y to minus y, whatever may be the value of y. If y is changed over to minus y, then let us look at the left hand side, it becomes cos of x minus y. That means this is one compound angle, x plus y, sum of the 2 angles. Here I am getting the difference of the 2 angles. Now, wherever y is there, replace it by minus y. So, cos x into cos of minus y minus sin x into sin of minus y. So, that is what I am writing here. I am changing y to minus y. Now, we have already learned that cos of minus theta is cos theta, no change of sign there. So, it becomes cos x into cos y, whereas sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. There is already one minus sign. So, minus of minus, it becomes plus. So, we have here sin x into sin y. Now, this is the second formula for the compound angle, where in the first one we have taken the sum of the 2 angles, here I have taken the difference of the 2 angles. Be careful, when x plus y is there, here the terms are same. You observe cos x, cos y, cos x, sin x, sin x. But here x is plus is there, it is minus. Here minus is there, it is plus. The signs are different. Be careful. So, cos of x minus y is cos x into cos y plus sin x into sin y. Now, using the same thing, see in the previous classes I taught you about the allied angle. If the angle is expressed as 90 minus 90 plus or minus theta, function be changed over to co-function, that is sin of 90 minus x. you know that you can write it as cos x, isn't it? I have taught you about this one. When you use 90, function will be changed over to co-function. 90 minus something means it is in the first quadrant, so all the ratios are positive. Suppose I had given here 90 plus also, 90 plus something means it is in the second quadrant, where second quadrant sign is positive. Suppose I had here cos of 90 plus x. In that case now 90 means it would be cos would be changed over to sin. It's co-function, but 90 plus something is in the second quadrant, therefore cos will have the sign minus. So all those things we have learnt in the earlier session, because I had given you the formula, the rules 1 and 2 to arrive at the allied angles. Now using these formulae, the compound angle formulae, also you can arrive at those allied angles, cos 90 plus theta, cos 90 minus theta, sin 90 plus theta, sin 90 minus theta. After learning about the sin of x plus y and sin of x minus y formula. Here you take x to be say pi by 2, here you take it as say x here. So cos pi by 2 into cos x minus sin pi by 2 into sin x. Cos pi by 2 is 0, 0 into anything that becomes 0, minus sin pi by 2 means 1 and into sin x here. So it is cos 90 plus x is minus sin x. So whatever we have done already, we can also get to them using the compound angle formula. So this is how you have to derive the formula. It's again I am telling you repeatedly, of course I am telling you, this is a very important derivation of trigonometry of first year PUC. Now in the next session I am going to teach you the formulae. Here only cos x plus y, cos x minus y I have taught you. I will be teaching you about sin x plus y, sin x minus y. Using this fact and the allied angles, we can arrive at the result. And after learning both sine and cosine, you can learn about tan of x plus y, tan x minus y, and also cot of x plus y and cot of x minus y. Then we will write all the formulae together, so that it is easy for you to by heart all of them. It is a very important derivation, and these formulae are also very important. When you understand this particular thing, there are two more topics in both of them we are using these formulae. The compound angle formulae are used to arrive at the two sets of formulae which are going to learn in the coming sessions. So we meet in the next session to know about the other compound angle formulae. Thank you.